Hi guys, today I'm going to talk about where you would place a beehive in an urban setting. Few little rules to follow when you're thinking about placing a hive on your property. First of all, check with your council to make sure it's okay. Also check with your neighbours to make sure that they're okay with it as well. If you're going to place a beehive near a fence, you have to make sure that it's 2 meters away from the border, the fence border, and also, obviously where the sun's going to be. Keep an eye on how the sun's travelling in a particular spot throughout the day. Also, you would want to make sure that the flight path is facing away from your house, facing away from neighbours, anywhere where there might be some heavy traffic, and making sure that maybe you have a tree or some sort of shrub in front of your hive, so that when they come out of the hive they will fly in an upwards motion rather than straight out. Again, depending on where you're going to put your hive. I'm going to show you a few spots on my property that I first put my hive, and then where I moved it to, and where I've been considering maybe putting an extra hive, or if I had to move my current hives, where to put those. So stay tuned. In a second you will see my yard and where you can possibly put your beehive. Okay, so one of the spots that I have been considering, and I did consider when I first got my hive, was my balcony. Okay, so you can put a hive pretty much anywhere on your property. You could put it on the roof, you could put it on your balcony like I have been pondering. Anywhere pretty much, just as long as you've got a distance away from your neighbours and you're following those flight path rules. So this is my balcony here. Excuse the chairs everywhere. So I was thinking of, if I had to, I could put a hive just in the corner here facing the street. As you can see, I'm pretty high up, so flight path is not an issue for people. Also, this spot here gets a lot of morning sun, so it's really good for a winter spot. It does get a little bit hot in summer, actually quite hot in summer, and that's something that needs to be considered. Could put it there in that corner. It gets a little bit of shade in the afternoon sun, because the sun obviously is moving here from right to left, because we're north facing. So yeah, that's one of the spots here. Another thing to consider if you're going to have your hive on the balcony, you are going to be sitting on the balcony a lot, I would presume. So just bear in mind, there will be bees around. So and maybe if you've got visitors coming that want to sit on that balcony as well, need to consider that as well. So I'm just showing you from the top. This is the side of my house. It's got a 3-tier section there. It's going to have a lot of soursobs in it soon, which I'll leave for the bees. But this area here is where I had my first hive. And it did okay. We had it in the summertime. It gets really hot here over the summer. The sun pretty much hit the hive until about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, which wasn't great. You'll probably see a few pictures on my feeds of the hive with an umbrella over the top and some water underneath. Make sure that wherever you do put your hive, that there's a water source. So I've got a pond there. They still use the pond even though I've moved them. Yeah, so that was my first spot there. I did have to move them, but I'll talk to you about that in a sec. Where my bees are at the moment, this spot here was another spot that I considered putting my hive, but then I thought I need room either side to be able to inspect, and that's another thing you've got to think about, how easily you can access your hive from either side, because you know you want to be able to access comfortably to inspect my hive. So this hive here, which is my first mother hive, this is the one I moved into that spot. As you can see, it's in the front yard. It's fairly high up, so the flight path is not going to be a huge issue. I'll just walk around. So you can see I've got the hive facing away from the house, so the house is right here. Okay, so their flight path is going out that way. Okay, so they're going up, out and up. And there's a neighbour there, so it's a fair way away from the neighbours, so that's good. People walking past aren't going to be bothered by them either. So once I put my hive here, they started thriving, and they've been thriving ever since. They are placed under my huge bottle brush tree, which, you know, currently in the winter, I mean it's a cloudy day today, but in the winter they will have the morning sun. Just show you on the back of the hive and to the side. With this one, which is my Bianca hive, I have got the entrance, as you can see, facing the street, so the flight path is pretty much going out that way. So there's my cat in the tree having a look, and this hive in the morning will get sun right on the front for a while, and then as the sun moves around they'll be in the shade, and then in the afternoon you will have, both hives will have the sun onto them as we're looking at it there. So they get a fair bit of sun in the winter time, which is good. They need that to be happy and productive, and to be able to, you know, stave off any disease. As you can see, I've also got a lot of flowering plants in my yard as well, which will help. Excuse the mess at the moment, we're just doing a little bit of work around the garden. So yeah, so this is where they are now. I probably wouldn't put a third one out here, I would probably move it somewhere else. So this is where I'm considering where to do that. Okay, so out here is a work in progress, so excuse all the stuff everywhere. So this is another area where I considered putting my hive, or a hive, just in the top area here. So this area in the winter gets sun from about 9 o'clock until probably about 3, which is not too bad. Maybe even more now that the big pine trees are gone, so it's not too bad a spot. And I would probably put, if I had to, a hive around here somewhere. Reason being, they can fly over the house, as you can see. And yeah, so that was another spot that I was considering. There's my dog having a sleep there. Yeah, so we're currently doing up a veggie patch there and putting a shed in, so once it's all finished I will show you guys what we've done. But yeah, work in progress at the moment. Okay, so thank you for watching, and yeah, just bear in mind if you do want to have a beehive, you know, the council, neighbours, and where you're going to put it. So make sure it's in a nice sunny spot in winter, and that in the summertime you have some shade for them there as well. Thanks, and I will see you next time.